Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moments. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star episode number 212 based on novel. So let's start. The jade-armored youth Yao Hai's gaze went gold, shouting, "Impudence!" Rumble. Ripples much stronger than his voice rose from around him, with the force and undying, it instantly rushed against the enemies that spoke to him. With Yao Hai's power, he easily discovered the three powerful law energies floating in mid-air. They were three undyings. What's going on? The white-haired old man frowned. Enemies. The jade-armored youth communicated, three of them, very strong, however they don't feel human. Other races invasion? The white-haired old man began to rage. Watch me settle them, those that dare invade humanity's regions, they are committing suicide. Yao Hao smiled coldly. He immediately became a beam of green light and broke through the roof of the hall. The roof was torn apart instantly like it was nothing. As that green light broke through the roof, a completely black sledgehammer flashed gold and suddenly appeared before the green light. The green-armored youth Yao Hai's expression changed greatly. He didn't even realize the enemy had already rushed right before him. This huge sledgehammer that suddenly appeared before him had completely squeezed all the space around it, making one feel as though the entire land and skies were crashing down on him. That powerful pressure made Yao Hai have no confidence at all in blocking it, Emperor level. Yao Hao cried out. Simultaneously he waved his right fist, and it was a net-like glove. The two clashed instantly. Whether it was the black sledgehammer or Yao Hai's fist, none had any ripples about it. Obviously the energies were extremely condensed. However, the moment they clashed, rumble, the clash of the two created a blinding light that was almost like a sun. Just the clash alone generated ultra-high temperatures that warped the space around. The powerful undying energies created shockwaves all over. It first completely destroyed the ceremony hall below. The royal family and elites were all shouting in fear. As the shockwaves swept through the area, they were all either reduced to dust or a bloody mess. Shouts of fear and howls of pain. Against the shockwaves, nothing could be heard. The palace had an area of 3,000 kilometers. The civilians outside the palace all suddenly realized that the palace was completely silent, almost like even the wind and air were blocked off from within. Rumble. Following the explosion of the palace, it was like a wave. The entire area shook and all the constructs were reduced to waste in the process. The shockwaves held within them undying energies. Even the unlucky sector lords about would explode and die from the waves. Look, the palace has exploded. The palace, The civilians of the capital planet all watched the nightmare-like scene, feeling the ground shake below them, all shocked. In the space above the planet, the Yunmo planet ship floated. Scan the planet, broadcast all footage of the battle here. Luo Feng ordered within the control room. Yes. Barbata complied excitedly. Three-dimensional simulations. Luo Feng, the 9th Army leader, Dylan, and Kashna all watched the screen. Two scenes were peaceful, another was a palace that was already half in ruins. Who knows if that Yao Hai is dead already? Kashna muttered. Yao Hai will definitely die. Luo Feng stared at the screen within the palace. The battle began suddenly. The Emperor-level undying Sai Fan Chi had been hiding and waiting for the chance to sneak an attack from the start. Even though Yao Hai fought hard to block, he was still completely reduced to ashes from that sledgehammer. Even his meat and bones were completely shattered. Teacher. Jeffrey's expression changed greatly. Outsiders, you dare get arrogant before humanity. The white-haired old man's eyes gleamed like a star. Lord Longkai, please save my teacher and kill those outsiders. Jeffrey shouted urgently, and at this time, three powerful energies descended from above. Simultaneously from another direction, three powerful energies rushed over as quick as lightning. The 6 official-level undyings appeared at the same time. 6 official-level undyings rushing amidst the ruins. Jeffrey roared and rushed into the skies. Outsider, die? The white-haired old man Longkai roared. Rumble. Jeffrey had instantly clashed with one of the official-level undyings. The terrifying undying energies rippled throughout, causing the already ruined palace to once again get hit by a shockwave. Jeffrey's expression struggled. A gold light brushed past Jeffrey's waist, causing him to instantly get sliced in two, after which a stronger gold light descended, landing and melting his broken body, causing his body to crackle. It was constantly melting until it finally vanished completely. Longkai. Before he died, Jeffrey's roar resounded within the ruined palace. Jeffrey would never have believed that Longkai would make a move against him. That white-haired old man smiled coldly in mid-air. Those that dare betray humanity will die. Betray humanity? I didn't expect to be discovered by you all. His cold voice resounded in the distance where powerful undying energies were gathering to form a human silhouette. It was Yao Hai. Yao Hai stared with hatred at the white-haired old man, before looking at the pagoda undyings rushing over. He swiftly fled. Flee, I'm just waiting for you to gather your body. The old voice resounded. That gold-armored old man instantly appeared before Yao Hai. Teleportation, Yao Hai shrieked, his face pale. In the distance, quietly observing the scene, the white-haired old man Long Kai smiled coldly. What an idiot, you think you can survive after betraying humanity? With the virtual universe company's arrangement, do you think you have any chance of escaping alive? However, this time, the other race undyings are really powerful. There's actually an emperor level and one that can already unleash teleportation. Yao Hai is definitely going to die. In space. Within the Yunmo planet ship, Luo Feng, the Ninth Army leader, Dylan and Kashner all watched the scene. It showed the battle progress. Jeffrey is already dead? Luo Feng was shocked. So fast? An undying was very hard to kill. However, Jeffrey died really quickly. Your Majesty. Dylan smiled. That Jeffrey was weaker. He hadn't reached the true level undying body. And the one that attacked him was the universe country's Long Kai. He is proficient in light origin laws and time, an official level undying. Light origin law warriors are naturally adept at purifying. Combined with the time laws, they form an incredible power that can easily purify and kill a normal undying. Luo Feng nodded. However, killing Yao Hai is much harder. Dylan frowned at the screen. Yao Hai has already reached the level of undying body. The Ninth Army leader said solemnly, even if he's reduced to nothing, he can reform his body. Killing him, there are two common ways. One is complete annihilation, the second is soul destroy. However, that elder Sai Fan Chi from the Gold Horn race isn't adept at soul techniques, then he can only annihilate him completely. Luo Feng nodded. Undying, those that truly reach the level of undying body, they were extremely hard to kill. Back then in Primal Chaos City, that powerful Primal Chaos City leader didn't kill those two undyings either. Of course, the main reason was he actually showed mercy. However, even so, his single palm was already terrifying. The reason they didn't die showed just how terrifying undyings were. Normal undyings, their spirit imprint and cell formation aren't completely perfect yet, then, killing a few more times after can end it. However, those that reach the level of undying body, within any cell fragment, even if shattered, they can reform their bodies, without even losing a bit of energy. Just relying on brute force and killing them, killing hundreds to thousands of times, they still wouldn't die. It was in fact easier to simply seal them. Soul destroy was the way Hu Yangbo died. His entire body was undamaged, however it was almost like poison. His entire soul was invaded and as time flowed, the soul imprints would fall apart, and he died naturally. However, to unleash such an attack, the power difference first had to be huge, and the attacker had to be proficient in soul attacks. An annihilation. That was purely energy usage, reducing the enemy undying to completely nothing. When an undying was completely purified without any energy, they would naturally die. This method, one first had to have complete dominance in strength. Secondly, the amount of energy used was shocking. Using too much of the energy would seriously affect his own energies. Rumble. Rumble. On the screen, 8 silhouettes surrounded a light silhouette and slaughtered. Howl! The undying Yao Hai howled as he was surrounded and killed. The crystal on his forehead emitted a visible green light, shooting in all directions. Immediately Dylan and the Ninth Army leader both were shocked. What's wrong? Luo Feng was shocked. It's a soul attack technique from the Bug Clan. Dylan emphasized. It's exactly like how the Bug Clan does it. The Ninth Army leader added. The battle went on. Under the surround attacks of an Emperor level and 7 official level undyings, especially with the Emperor level undying being Elder Sai Fan Chi, who was willing to sacrifice large amounts of his undying energy to annihilate him, this Emperor Yao Hao of the Dream Underworld Empire was constantly getting his undying energy annihilated. His body gradually grew weaker and weaker until he finally roared as his body crumbled. Congratulations, Your Majesty, Yao Hai is dead. His undying energy is so weak he's no longer able to reform. Dylan smiled. Congratulations, Your Majesty. The Ninth Army leader smiled as well. Luo Feng nodded. Looking at the capital planet that was already 1/5 in ruins, he ordered, move, begin killing the 1.200 million targets. With Luo Feng's order, it wasn't simply the 30 interstellar battleships that began its movement, even the Ninth Army's 700,000 universe soldiers that were spread out in different planets also began their mission. Dream Underworld Empire capital planet. After the undying battle from before, 1/5 of the entire planet lay in ruins. The other regions were also affected by the shockwaves, with many buildings fallen and people injured. Boo-hoo, boo-hoo, in a small town on the planet, one could clearly hear howls and cries. Fallen buildings could be seen everywhere. However, the human body was pretty strong. Even though they were injured, there were very few dead. Don't cry. Be good, don't cry. Big brother, our house is gone. The little girl cried, her eyes red. The boy hugged his sister. Behind him was a married couple. The young couple looked on at their fallen house in anguish. It was very expensive to buy a house on the capital planet, and their biggest wealth was that house. Now that it had fallen, after the matter, there would definitely be a new rich owner who would take the land back. Every time a disaster happened, the benefits would be shared amongst the higher-ups. As for them, the lower-level people, they would always be exploited. Big brother, look. The little girl stared wide-eyed at the distance. He stared wide-eyed at the distant skies. In the sky, an enormous, completely black, malevolent interstellar battleship, with a length of over 10 kilometers appeared. It was like a majestic mountain floating in the air, covering the sun itself. And at the end of the horizon, there was another seemingly small, but completely similar interstellar battleship descending as well. At this time, 30 interstellar battleships descended simultaneously and floated in the air above the capital planet. It had complete control, and was ready to destroy any ship that fled. My God, universe interstellar battleships. On the capital planet, one could see the malevolent ships everywhere. These sort of ships that battled in the outer regions were much stronger than the regular battleships. Just the energy barrier formed by these 30 ships that covered the entire planet had already shocked everybody. Big brother, there's a ship flying over here. The little girl stared and shouted. Her big brother and parents turned around to see. A triangular blood-colored ship slowly descended, passing right through the barrier and finally landing within a spacious opening in the little town. The townspeople all held their breaths and looked. They were very clear that any ship that was able to pass through the barrier formed by the 30 interstellar battleships without being affected at all must not be ordinary. The cabin door opened. The townspeople were all terrified as they looked on. A black-haired youth in silver armor, with 2 undyings behind him, Dylan, 9th Army leader, 6 Sector Lords, Kashner and his 5 Sector Lord guards, flew out of the door and gently landed on the ground that was recently shaken. A silhouette appeared. This was a silhouette covered in gold armor. He wielded a huge black sledgehammer. His entire being seemed to make the sky and ground shake. Your Majesty. The gold-armored old man smiled. Yao Hai is dead. The black-haired youth nodded. They didn't seal off this conversation. Hence, the townspeople around staring at this group were all shocked. Yao Hao? Yao Hai was dead? As residents of the Dream Underworld Empire who didn't know of the royal family, Yao Hao family. And in the entire family, there was only who dared to use that name. It was the founder of the family. The head ancestor. And the greatest being of the Dream Underworld Empire, the being who founded the empire. The god that founded the empire is actually dead. No. The people were all shocked. However, they could all see the terrifying huge interstellar battleships in the sky, along with the blood-colored triangular ship. Lastly, the black-haired youth and the group that emanated unbelievable terrifying auras. If they didn't kill the emperor, how would they dare attack the capital planet like that, without any response at all from the royal family? The people all logically understood that all these were facts. A silhouette flew secretly amongst the townspeople. A low roar resounded within the town. The fleeing silhouette was actually stopped in mid-air. The black-haired youth of the blood-colored triangular ship and his underlings flew over. Your Majesty Luo Feng. A clean and gentle voice sounded. I've seen the Universe Genius competitions. I know who you are. Why have you captured me? The beautiful brown-haired girl dressed in seemingly plain and simply clothing was stuck in mid-air. Her nose was very pointed and her eyes slightly sunken in, her skin a dark green color. Luo Feng and the rest landed before her. You traitor, my teacher is an emperor-level undying. Before him, do you think you, a sector lord, can escape? The armored youth Kashner pointed at the brown-haired girl and roared. Emperor-level undying? The girl Aifu was shocked. She struggled hard for a while, but with the space binding, how could she get free? Your Majesty Luo Feng, why have you captured me? The lady looked at Luo Feng, appearing as though she was troubled. You only have 2 paths. Luo Feng looked at her. One of them is to fight me. If I cannot kill you, you can survive. The second option is, well, any other choice will only lead to death. Luo Feng was too lazy to even chat with her. She remained bound in mid-air, gritting her teeth. She understood that since even Yao Hai was dead, her affairs and matters were probably already revealed, and she was a warrior that had just broken through to the sector lord level. She couldn't be bothered to act anymore. Your Majesty Luo Feng, you are saying that if I fight you and live, I can leave from here alive? Aifu looked at him. Right. Luo Feng nodded. Can I trust your word? Aifu stared at Luo Feng. Dylan snorted coldly beside Luo Feng, saying coldly, His Majesty's prestige is worth more than your life. All right, her eyes gleamed, let's fight. Rumble. Immediately, the space binding dissipated and a formless space barrier covered a 100-meter area. The gold-armored old man Sai Fan Chi immediately said with his powerful voice, Your Majesty, I've already put a space barrier around a 100-meter area. This will be your battle space with the lady, it won't affect the surroundings. Luo Feng nodded. Come. Aifu's originally simple clothing instantly changed, condensed and became a streamlined grey armor. Simultaneously 2 short blades appeared in her hands. Luo Feng stood his ground. I don't believe that I, with Sector Lord strength, cannot defeat you. Aifu roared and immediately, a formless world energy pressure spread out. Simultaneously, her internal world projected and caused the surrounding space to become a black forest world. It felt like she was the master of this black forest. Rumble. The world energy extended the 2 short blades in her hands and they instantly became 2 huge black whips wrapping about Luo Feng. Your origin law comprehension is too weak when compared to the virtual universe company geniuses. Luo Feng shook his head. Luo Feng didn't even want to use the Nanshan armament. Howl. In an instant, Luo Feng rushed forward like an absolute ferocious beast, forcefully stepping on the huge trees and leaves of that forest and rushing straight at the 2 black whips. Luo Feng's hands were as quick as lightning. With ferocious energy within them, it made use of the universe gold and space laws that made his claws as fast as lightning. In an instant, he had torn through the 2 black whips. Claw technique, 3000 space. Indeed a genius, however. Aifu's eyes gleamed fiercely. The 2 blades in her hands instantly triggered the powerful world energy and endless leaves wrapped about Luo Feng. Luo Feng, however, didn't slow down as he tore through the whips, continuing towards Aifu. As the endless amounts of vines and leaves rushed at him, he looked malevolent, almost like the single-horned lizard beast god clawing at the huge palm in the sky. He too activated his right claw. Rumble. The gold right claw was a few meters high. With a beast roar, the space and gold laws were completed infused within, forming a real right claw. It tore right through the leaves and vines. How can this be? Aifu stared wide-eyed. Rumble. The right claw completely shredded her apart. Fresh blood spurted everywhere and a life core flew out of her body and tried to flee. Luo Feng flashed and caught the core in his hands. Your only advantage was having world energy and projecting it. However, in terms of origin law comprehension, you are simply too much weaker. Luo Feng shook his head and immediately destroyed the life core. Barbata closed the synchronized broadcast to the virtual universe network. Luo Feng said. The battle had already ended. This battle had allowed him 10% completion of the mission. It's a pity that of the 4 targets I have to kill personally, only one of them is here on the capital planet. Luo Feng thought and shook his head. He suddenly rose into the sky. Dylan, the 9th Army leader, and Elder Sai Fan Chi along with the group of Undyings followed suit. Standing in mid-air, Luo Feng gazed into the distance. With his Domain Lord Level 9 vision, he could easily see over thousands of kilometers. From the many interstellar battleships, large amount of universe soldiers were rushing down while hunting their targets. The entire capital planet became a bloodbath. Of course, they were only killing the targets. Your Majesty, look there. The armored youth Kashna suddenly stared shocked in the distance. Luo Feng turned over. A blurry light had begun to shine thousands of kilometers away. Simultaneously the space around it was rippling, with many huge malevolent silhouettes appearing. Large gold bug soldiers flew out. It was a blur. In the center was a nest in the shape of a pyramid a few tens of kilometers tall. It was filled with caves that spewed out all sorts of poisonous gas. Simultaneously, a light pillar began to shine from the many gold bug soldiers. In an instant, the entire capital planet became a sea of gold. Your Majesty, flee, God country teleportation. It's an undying mother nest. While watching the blur light and countless silhouettes appear, Dylan grabbed Luo Feng and rushed quickly towards the Yunmo planet ship. Even the Emperor-level Sai Fan Chi, the Ninth Army leader, Kashna, and the others all rushed towards the Yunmo planet ship. The capital planet had completely become a sea of gold. Rumble, boom. The entire capital planet exploded open, even the most sturdy planet core was split apart from just a single attack. The large amounts of universe soldiers hunting on the planet were caught in the fire as well. And the commanding ship of this mission, the Yunmo planet ship, was fleeing in panic. That pyramid mother nest, which was a few tens of kilometers tall, during the glaring gold sea of light, it let out an ear-piercing scream. The ear-piercing scream caused the numerous golden bug soldiers to roar together. These golden bug soldiers were mainly split into two kinds. One was similar to human form, about 30 meters tall. They were completely covered in armor, and on their backs were bug wings. Their eyes resembled a housefly's compound eyes. Another type was much skinnier and about 100 meters tall. Their bodies were bent and hunched, and their head portion seemed to be filled with eyes, with hundreds to thousands of eyes. Their backs had hundreds of wings. These two different types of soldiers were completely gold in color. The auras they emanated caused the space around them to shake. With the ear-piercing scream of the mother nest, both kinds of soldiers all roared. As the leading gold humanoid-shaped soldier opened its mouth, a sharp glass-like instrument with a diameter of about 30 centimeters glowed with white light. Thousands of golden soldiers all opened their mouths and extended a similar instrument from their mouth. Flee, quickly flee, all flee. Quickly, quickly, quickly. The Ninth Army leader was no longer as calm as before. Within the Yunmo planet ship, he was filled with shock and fear. He hurriedly roared at the 30 interstellar battleships through the control board. They all immediately activated and began to accelerate to flee. However, the acceleration of the interstellar battleships, how could they compare to the large group of bug soldiers? Thousands of 30 million gold bug soldiers that resembled the demons in legends, they simultaneously shot out a blinding white pillar of light. Thousands of them gathering and condensing in one point. Thousands of powerful soldiers acting as one. When thousands of them gathered into one single white pillar of light, the space around the area shook violently, instantly exploding apart, revealing a terrifying maelstrom within the space, with all sorts of broken space fragments. Layers upon layers of disorderly space was flowing around madly. Simultaneously. As that target point at the center, the shaken universe space around fell like dominoes, expanding in all directions. In an instant, it was almost like a supernova explosion. Rumble. It created a blinding huge ball of light with a diameter of tens of thousands of kilometers. The slow accelerating interstellar battleships were like 30 little ships amidst a storm. They were instantly swallowed by the huge light ball, completely vanishing from vision. Following closely. This was a huge ball of light that was even larger than a star. The violent shockwaves shot in all directions, only then did the ear-piercing scream truly sound. Rumble, the universe shook. Space tore apart. It was almost like an apocalypse. In the light ball that shot in all directions, the 30 interstellar battleships shook within, almost like playthings, flying all over as the shockwaves threw them about. Amidst the countless shockwaves, a blood-colored triangular ship seemed to brave the winds and billows, flying right out. Within the Yunmo planet ship. No. The Ninth Army leader's expression was ugly as he stared behind. The external simulator allowed him to easily see the 30 enormous interstellar battleships rolling about like playthings. This is too terrifying. The armored youth Kashna stared wide-eyed. Luofeng grit his teeth. Simply. Too terrifying. Just one combined attack, it actually caused mass destruction within an area with a diameter of tens of thousands of kilometers. As for the shockwaves, they reached out even further. What terrifying power! Some normal planets didn't even have a diameter of 10,000 kilometers. Even a star, their diameters hardly ever exceeded 10,000 kilometers. With such power, who could block it? The gold-armored elder Sai Fan Chi quickly roared, quickly flee. Another team of thousands of undying bug soldiers out chasing. Undying bug soldiers? Luofeng turned. From the external simulator, Luofeng could see the blur of thousands of golden bug soldiers rushing from behind the Yunmo planet ship. They were about 100 m tall, filled with eyes all over. They were hunched with hundreds of wings on their back. All their eyes were fixed on the fleeing Yunmo planet ship. These gold bug soldiers had speeds that weren't slower than the Yunmo planet ship at all. Undying level, they could enter universe travel with just their bodies. Universe travel, countdown. Barbata's voice resounded within the ship. Don't do it. The gold-armored Elder Sci-Fan Chi roared, "It's no use, within the Dark Universe, they are even faster. When the undying bugs give chase, before we hit maximum speed, their instantaneous acceleration far exceeds this ship's. Then what do we do?" Dylan roared, "Old man, quickly think of something, quickly." Luo Feng looked at the group of malevolent gold bug soldiers that was closing in fast. He was panicking too. The legendary undying bug soldiers, in an instant there were thousands of them. What kind of terrifying power was this? Thousands of them combining their attacks, even an Emperor-level undying would have to flee. "Don't do anything, leave it to me." The gold-armored elder roared softly. Simultaneously he vanished from the control room. Luo Feng's expression changed. "It's teleportation, he's already outside of the ship." Dylan communicated. "Don't resist, I'll absorb all of you into my world." Elder Sci-Fan Chi's serious voice resounded within everyone's mind in the Yunmo planet ship. The entire Yunmo planet ship vanished in mid-air, leaving behind only the gold-armored elder. Repulsive Bug Clan. The elder stood in space, looking back at the thousands of bug soldiers swiftly rushing at him, his eyes filled with hatred. "The next time we meet in the outer region wars, I'll definitely let you know how powerful I am." The thousands of gold bug soldiers saw that the human ship had vanished. They were like humans, all of them had a full body of eyes that shot out gold threads that extended throughout and condensed about the space. Elder Sci-Fan Chi, who was preparing to teleport again, felt the universe space about condense, immediately grit his teeth. "Bastard!" Elder Sci-Fan Chi roared. He accelerated fiercely. Very quickly, he almost reached light speed, the space around him rippled and he entered the dark universe. The thousands of golden bug soldiers accelerated again and reached light speed, the surrounding space rippled and they all entered the dark universe. Within the world. The Yunmo planet had slowed down and stopped in the spacious sky above a forest. Within the control room, the group was silent for a while. Luo Feng, Dylan, the 5 Sector Lord Guards, the 7 official-level Undyings of the Pagoda Squadron and the 9th Army Leader, this group of survivors' hearts were all still in suspense. This was because everyone was clear, they were only in Elder Sci-Fan Chi's world. The moment he died, they would all be killed. Can he escape? Can Elder Sci-Fan Chi escape from the bug soldiers? Luo Feng looked at Dylan. "No idea." Dylan shook his head. "Definitely no problem. My teacher has incredibly strong power." The armored youth Kashna shouted. Beside him the tall and skinny 9th Army Leader said solemnly, "Undying Bug Clan Mother Nest, they belong to the upper echelon of the Bug Clan. Every one of them is incredibly terrifying. In the outer regions, every time one of them appears, it's a nightmare. Bated breaths. Suffocating." The group within the control room were all silently awaiting their fates. The thing they were most worried about right now was the world collapsing. That would indicate the death of Elder Sci-Fan Chi, and when the world was destroyed, they would be revealed. When that happened, this group of absolute warriors against that undying Bug Clan Mother Nest would have no resistance at all. The Yunmo planet ship vanished from the world. When it reappeared, Luo Feng and the rest could see ahead clearly. It was an endless snowstorm. "This is a mineral planet with low temperatures." A familiar voice resounded. Luo Feng, the 9th Army Leader, Dylan, and the others all turned to look. The gold-armored elder suddenly appeared within the control room. This was the terrifying power of teleportation. It wasn't simply extremely fast movement. Fast movement wasn't enough to break through the defense of the Yunmo planet ship. However, during teleportation, no mountain or wall could block it. Of course, even amongst the Emperor-level Undying, only few had the ability to do it. "Teacher? Elder?" It was an uproar of celebration within the control room. Luo Feng looked at the gold-armored elder and bowed. "Elder Sci-Fan Chi, thank you for saving our lives. It's my duty." The elder's eyes were somewhat fatigued, smiling. "That bunch of repulsive bugs are really hard to deal with. Luckily I'm proficient in the space laws and escaping. In terms of space law attacks, I may be weaker, however I definitely have a guarantee in fleeing. After dizzying amounts of universe travel and being chased through thousands of galaxies, I managed to shake them off. Space laws, they could be split into many sides. Teleportation belonged to the ultimate of one side." "Teacher, you are hurt?" The armored youth Kashna stared at the elder's armor, shocked. Elder Sci-Fan Chi's had a tear. "I was hit once while fleeing." He shook his head. "Those repulsive bugs, they all have undying level strength. Even though they don't have their own intellect and take all orders from the Queen. If it were 1v1, they are much weaker than a true undying. However, with thousands of them combined, they far exceed the combined forces of thousands of true undyings. They are indeed terrifying. This video will end here. Thank you for watching.